Don't serve her dessert. She didn't earn Christmas, Mom said, pointing at my daughter's empty plate as my sister's kids grabbed seconds. I took my daughter's hand, said, "We understood," and walked out. At 12:02 p.m., Mom messaged, "Mortgage is due tomorrow. Pay it immediately." I just smiled and said, "My name is Lily. I'm 34, the older daughter, the one who keeps receipts and buys extra napkins just in case. I'm a payroll manager, which means I live in spreadsheets even when I'm off the clock. I have a daughter, Mia, who is 7 and wears her hair in 2 messy braids because she says they look fast. I'm divorced. I carry a foldable phone charger, Band-Aids, and quiet snacks for emergencies. Christmas Eve, my mother's dining room smelled like cinnamon and ham. My sister Jenna's kids were already hunting for the dessert plates. Mom had arranged slices of pie like trophies. Don't serve her dessert. She didn't earn Christmas, my mom said, pointing at my daughter's empty dinner plate like it was evidence. Jenna's kids reached for seconds and laughed. Mia's hand went still in her lap. Excuse me, I said. She didn't sing for us. She didn't even try. No dessert, Mom said, loud enough for everyone. Mia looked up at me with wet eyes. I took her hand and said, "We understood." And we stood up. I put on her coat. I helped her into her boots. We walked out into the cold without saying goodbye. On the drive home, my stomach felt hot and heavy. I hated the way it had felt so normal to stand up and leave, like we had rehearsed it. We weren't always like this. After Dad died, Mom fell apart a little. She lost her job at the credit union, and then she said she didn't know what to do with the house. I said I would help for a few months. I set her mortgage on my online bill pay. It was easy. It was supposed to be temporary. Temporary turned into years. I kept paying because every month there was a new reason. The roof, the car, Jenna's divorce. It's just this once. Mom would sigh and say, "I don't know where I'd be without you." And I'd feel proud and sick at the same time. Jenna leaned into it. She'd text, "Can you cover Tyler's braces? Insurance is being dumb." Or, "Ava needs costumes for the recital. It's $300 for the package." If I said I needed to check, she'd reply, "Must be nice to have that kind of freedom." Freedom. As if it wasn't overtime and mint tea and coupon apps and exhaustion. I became the bank. I bought peace more often than food I loved. Once when Mia needed new sneakers, I waited a week so I could send Mom the gas bill. When Mia was born, Mom said she would do after-school pickup if I helped a little extra with the house. It was never written, but it felt like a contract on my back. When Mom had Mia, everything was fine, until Mia didn't clap the right way or sit the right way or smile on cue. Mom kept a good choices chart on the fridge with gold stars for Jenna's kids. I asked her not to do that with Mia. She shrugged and said, "Kids need structure." This fall, Mia started to cry before going to Grandma's because Grandma grades me. She has a stutter that worsens when she's anxious. Mom told her, "If you try hard enough, you can stop it." I told Mom to be gentle. Mom said, "Don't tell me how to grandparent in my house." Meanwhile, my budget got tighter. Prices went up, my rent went up, Mia's school sent a fundraiser letter that made me feel small. I started keeping a list of every payment I made for Mom. It was stupid at first, a way to prove I wasn't imagining it. Month after month, the numbers solved into a life that wasn't mine. 2 weeks before Christmas, Mom asked me to bring dessert. Keep it simple, Jenna's kids are picky. I bought pies and cookies and whipped cream. Mia helped put sprinkles on the cookies and then ate 2 sprinkles and nothing else. She said she wanted to sing for Grandma on Christmas Eve, but only if it was us. "I get shy when people watch," she whispered. At dinner, it was loud. Jenna kept telling her kids to perform the carol because Grandma lives for this stuff. They screamed through Jingle Bell Rock with fake microphones. Mom cried and said, "This is what Christmas is about, effort." When Mom asked Mia to sing, Mia shook her head. She grabbed my sleeve and said, I can sing to you at home, she whispered. Mom made a face. She didn't earn dessert, she said. She didn't earn Christmas. I stared at her. She's 7. It's teaching her a lesson. Real life has consequences. Do you want her to be weak? Mom said. Jenna chimed in. We all do uncomfortable things for family. She stared at me like a mirror. It was a weird echo. We do uncomfortable things for family. Put on a show, pay a bill, smile, pretend it's fine. I felt this quiet click inside me, the kind that sounds like the door unlatching before a slam. I took Mia's hand and we left. Calmly. No scene. Coats, boots, the cold. The door closed behind us, and I forgot to breathe until we were in the car. Back home, Mia climbed into my bed without asking. Did I do it wrong? She asked. No, I said. You did it exactly right. I lay in the dark and watched the numbers on the clock change. At midnight, I was finally sleepy, and then my phone lit up on the nightstand with Mom's name. I didn't look. Not yet. At 12:02 p.m. the next day, my phone pinged again. I had just finished packing up Mia's crayons and was making a grocery list we couldn't fully afford. The text was from Mom. Mortgage is due tomorrow. Pay it immediately. I stared at the screen. I could hear her voice in the words, immediate, like I was a button she could push. Another text. Also, your behavior last night was humiliating. Jenna's kids were confused. You owe them an apology for ruining the mood. I took a breath. Mia was at the coffee table drawing a snowman with 6 hats. I smiled at her and said, I love your hats, because I needed to say something true before I said anything else. Then I typed, we won't be paying your mortgage anymore. My hands shook. I deleted and retyped it 3 times. I added, I will not trade my daughter's dignity for dessert or a house payment. We are done. Mom called immediately. I let it go to voicemail. She texted, don't you dare. This is my home. Your father would be disgusted. I answered the call the second time because I didn't want to hide. Hi, Mom, I said. You ungrateful girl, she said. I fed you. I raised you. Everything I have, my house, keeps this family together. You think you can just stop because your child is spoiled? She's 7, and she's not spoiled. She's allowed to be shy. Shy? She's manipulative. She knows you cave, Mom said. Now be an adult. The mortgage is due. Do what you always do. I'm changing what I always do. I took the auto-pay off last night. What? Her voice cracked hard. You are punishing me because I tried to set a standard in my home? I'm protecting my kid. You humiliated her. We all sacrifice, she snapped. You sacrifice money. She sacrificed dessert. That's family. No, that's control. Jenna's name flashed on my screen. I could hear Mom breathe, and then the call dropped. Jenna called again, and I answered. Are you serious? Jenna said. Mom is spiraling. You know her anxiety. You're going to make her sick. I've been making myself sick for years. You're dramatic. It's just dessert. It's not just dessert. It's the way Mom talks to her. It's the way you both talk to me. You think you're better than us because you have a salary and an apartment with a laundry room, she said, voice flat. You love money more than family. I laughed, ugly. You love my money more than my family. Silence. Then she went soft. Tyler's braces? I know. I paid the deposit. You're evil, she said, and hung up. I sat on the floor and felt my heart banging. I looked at Mia, who was now drawing a cat next to the snowman. Do cats get dessert? She asked without looking up. Always, I said. The rest of the day was a storm. Mom's texts came in bursts. You'll regret this. When they foreclose, it'll be your fault. I can't believe you would let your mother be homeless. Then the switch flipped. I forgive you if you fix it. Then threats again. I wrote a longer message and read it out loud to make sure it sounded like me. I've paid your mortgage for 4 years. I have kept a list. I have also paid utilities, repairs, and helped Jenna. I did this because I love you, but love is not a bill. I will help you create a budget, sell the extra furniture, or downsize. I will not send more money. I will not bring Mia into a place where she is graded and shamed. Those are my boundaries. I am not bargaining. I felt like I was pushing a boulder down a hill. It wasn't graceful, but it was moving. Mom didn't answer that message. Instead, she sent a photo of the house and wrote, "This is the last thing I have of him." I wrote back, "He would have wanted you kind. He would not have wanted you to buy dessert with fear." Then I put my phone face down and took Mia to the park. The air was sharp and bright. We kicked little patches of frozen leaves, and I tried to think about nothing. But the spreadsheet in my head wouldn't stop. Numbers flew by like birds. At home, I opened my banking app and looked at the payments. 4 years. I did the math twice. I started crying. It wasn't loud, just a steady leak. It wasn't even about the money. It was the story it told. I had built a quiet house for everyone, except me. Mia crawled into my lap. "Can I sing for you now?" she asked. "Yes," I said. She whispered one verse of Silent Night, off key and perfect. I didn't record it. I didn't post it. I just listened. The first business day after Christmas, my phone rang at 8:13 a.m. It was Mom. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail about, "The bank is harassing me." At 8:20, Jenna texted a screenshot of a late fee and wrote, "Happy now?" I took a breath. I called the bank myself because I'm on the account as an authorized payer. The woman on the line was kind and professional. I asked about options. There were options. There were always options Mom pretended didn't exist because options required her to do something. I sent Mom a list. Request a hardship plan, cut cable, sell the guest bedroom set, refinance, or list the house. I told her I would drive her to meetings. I told her I would sit with her while she called. I repeated, "I will not pay." She told me I was cruel. She told me I was dizzy. She told me I had broken her heart. She told my aunt I was withholding Christmas from my mother. My aunt texted me a paragraph with 3 prayers and a reminder that I was so blessed and should share. I blocked Jenna for a week. I told Mom we could talk about logistics, but not blame. Meanwhile, my life got quieter. It didn't get easier immediately. My stomach unclenched slowly, like it didn't trust me yet. I made a new spreadsheet titled Our Year and put Mia's name on top. I budgeted for field trip fees, the shoes that light up when she runs, swim lessons. I moved the money I had set aside for Mom's January payment into a savings account with both our names on it. I felt like I was doing something illegal. I felt free. Mia and I made our own after Christmas dessert on a random Wednesday, boxed brownies with too much vanilla. I told Mia, "You don't have to earn dessert in this house. You just have to be kind." She said, "So Grandma's house is a store?" I said, "Something like that." She nodded like this was science. By New Year's, Mom texted, "I need help calling the bank." I said, "I can come Thursday at 3. She tried to say, "Come now." I said, "Thursday at 3. It felt petty, but it was actually control of my time. On Thursday, I went over, alone. The house was too warm and smelled like the same cinnamon candle from 15 years ago. We sat at the kitchen table with her stack of bills. She tried to start with, "About Mia," and I said, "No." I pointed to the list. "We're doing this." She cried. She said she missed Dad. I believed her. I missed him too. We called the bank. She got on a plan. It wasn't pretty. It was math and waiting music and a hold message that said, "Your call is important to us," which never feels true. But it was progress. When I stood up to leave, she said, "So, dessert was—" "No," I said gently. "That conversation is for therapy. If you want, I can send a list of counselors." She looked like she wanted to slam a door. Then she didn't. She said, "Text me the list," she quietly. 2 weeks later, Mia sang to me while we played Uno at the kitchen table. She still stuttered on S words. I didn't correct her. I put another blue card down, and we both cheered like we won a championship. Mom's house didn't vanish. She didn't become homeless. She made calls. She sold the guest bedroom set to a neighbor. She kept the house for now. We saw her on a Sunday afternoon for an hour. She offered me a dessert without a speech. Progress, not perfection. People ask where the line is. Here it is, for me. My wallet is not a leash. My child is not currency. Love is not dessert that I have to earn for my family by performing or paying on demand. When Mom texted on the first of the month, "Mortgage due," and then, "Just kidding, habit," I smiled and texted back, "You've got this." And I meant it. We understood that day at the table, and we understand it now. Being family doesn't mean I disappear. It means I show up as myself with boundaries. The moral is simple. Never trade a child's dignity for someone else's comfort. Not for pie, not for peace, not even for a house.